From verse 42, we find Krishna describing those people whose minds are diverse, pulled in diverse directions, especially directions of pleasure and comfort. One such direction is called heaven in all theology. Every theology has a philosophy of heaven, theology of heaven, where people enjoy plenty of pleasures without any effort or struggle. In the world, we have to work hard and get pleasure. In heaven, minus work, there is pleasure. That is why in every philosophy, there is this concept of heaven. But in the Upanishads and in the Gita, there is a complete devaluation of this heaven. It is considered to be fit for fools, according to the Upanishads. Nagasya prishtete anubhutya imam lokam henataram va vishanti, says the Mundaka Upanishad. Those fools who consider heaven as a supreme refuge, they are fools, they enjoy pleasure, come back again to start their journey in this world. Why not achieve the highest in this very life? But is there such a highest? Yes, says Vedanta, your own infinite nature, hidden behind the body-mind complex. Try to realize the truth that is hidden in you, in others, in every human being, so that realization here and now, in this very world, in this very body, became the great message in the Upanishads and the Gita. That is why the word iha, here, now, occurs again and again in the Upanishads. Not a post-mortem excellence, but something here and now. So, here you have Krishna's description of seeking heaven as something very inferior. That's why yamimam, pushpitam, vacham, etc. These two shlokas tell us. The three shlokas are there up to 44. Those who think that going to heaven is the great object of human life, enjoying beautiful delights there, they couch this philosophy in very flowery language. There are passages in the Upanishads, passages in the Quran, passages in the Bible, where heaven is described in alluring terms. Krishna says, all this disturbs the mind, never gives you knowledge of truth. Knowledge of pleasure is one thing, knowledge of truth is something else. Pleasure and pain are useful to give us truth, so that don't run after pleasure, avoiding pain. That will be a stagnant life. And heaven life is stagnant, say the Upanishads and says the Gita. In one of the Upanishads, Brihadaranyaka, there is mention that gods in heaven are eager to see that men and women do not pursue truth. Men and women do not pursue the truth of their own Atman, because then they will cease to be their cattle. The word is used as cattle. Human beings are cattle to the gods, just like the proletariat are cattle to the aristocrats, and they don't want the cattle to go away. So also the Upanishads' exact language says that gods do not want that men should realize this truth, because they lose one cattle thereby. Everybody wants his cattle to be intact, because the cattle gives them milk as well as meat. So the gods do not want men to realize the truth. But Upanishad says, no gods can ever prevent man realizing this truth of the Atman, because it is his own real nature. It is his birthright. Spirituality is the birthright of every human being, say the Upanishads and the Gita. None can obstruct it. Therefore, in these three verses, Krishna described this kind of philosophy of heaven and the pleasures in heaven as unfit to be pursued by any serious seeker of truth. We must strive at truth, that which is imperishable, that which is true, that must be pursued. And so the last line he says, Vivasadhyatmika buddhi samadhau navithiyate. For such people, this one pointed determination to pursue truth, the Atman which is ever our true nature, that buddhi will never come to them unless they change their attitude. That is the impression that you get when you read the Upanishads and the Gita. Heaven is a world of pleasure. Earth also is a world of pleasure. But here there is pain added to, there is no pain. So men want painless pleasure. So they run after heaven. But our teacher said, here is pain, here is pleasure. This is the best context to pursue truth. For pleasure can take us to truth, but pain can take us to truth sometimes better. Some shock can give us better knowledge of truth. So squeeze both pleasure and pain. Increase in knowledge and wisdom is the message of Vedanta. So in the next verse 45, Krishna speaks of the Vedas, especially the Karma Kanda, the ritual portion of the Vedas, where this heaven philosophy comes in as consisting of the three gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. He asks Arjuna to go beyond the gunas. Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna, Nirdvandvo, Nitya Sattvastho, Niryogakshema Atmaman. Traigunya Vishaya Veda. Veda deals with things of the three gunas, their combinations, permutations, etc. What you call the three gunas is what we call in modern philosophy as the world of relativity. This state of relativity, the world revealed in the relative experience. Go beyond them to the truly transcendent, the truly real. That is real philosophy. Relativity is an experience. Go beyond it. That is what philosophy tells us. Or search for truth is from the relative to the absolute. If the relative is found to be insufficient, go beyond it. That is a search for knowledge, both in science as well as in philosophy. Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna. These ritualistic portions of the Vedas are subject to the three gunas. Our Upanishads, especially Mundaga Upanishad, said knowledge belongs to two categories: Aparavidya, Paravidya. Ordinary knowledge, extraordinary knowledge. What is ordinary knowledge? All the Vedas themselves say that the Vedas are ordinary knowledge. They are secondary knowledge. They deal with world of change. Whereas the extraordinary knowledge, Paravidya, is that which gives you experience of the imperishable, the immortal. Atha para yaya tadaksharam adhigamyate. That is the science of God, the immortal, the imperishable. There you have to go beyond the three gunas. That is the real state of man's existence as the Atman. Sri Ramakrishna says, just like the Upanishads, the Vedas, the Quran, the Bible, they don't contain God. They contain only information about God. Just like the Panchika or the almanac in a country sometimes will contain forecast of the rainfall of the year. Ramakrishna adds, if you squeeze the almanac, you won't get a drop of water. That is the way in which we handle the Vedas and the Quran and the Bible in the Vedanta. They contain information of the divine, but they don't contain the divine. You squeeze your experience, you will get the divine. Squeeze the book, you will get only mere nothing. So, this expression, the Vedas must be transcended, is found in the Vedas themselves. In no other literature of religion you will find this teaching that you must transcend Scripture. Don't live according to Scripture only. Scriptures give you information. Try to realize the information. This is a beautiful statement in the Panchadashi. That shloka says, Panchadashi is a book of about 14th or 15th century by that great sage and statesman Vidyaranya, where he says, Grantham abhyasya medhavi jnana vijnana tatparaha palala vivadhanyarthi tyajet grantham asheshataha. After studying all the sacred books, try to squeeze the meaning contained in them and try to realize that meaning. Just like one who wants to have grain, he takes paddy, husks the paddy, removes the husk and takes the grain. Similarly, we must treat the Vedas, the Quran and the Bible and other sacred books. This is a constant emphasis in Vedanta. For man's objective is not scholarship in the Vedas, but realization of truth. Scholarship and realization are not the same. That's why in Indian tradition, great scholarship was not rated very high. It is good, but there is something higher than that. Scholars are not respected so high, but men of realization, they are always respected in the Indian tradition. The basis of this is in such statements as you find in verse 45. Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna. Go beyond the three gunas. Go beyond the rules and regulations, the do's and don'ts of religion, the ritualistic dimensions of religion. Experience God. Experience the real, because that is your own nature. God is not in the sky. He is not outside the universe. He is in man, in the universe. Therefore, you can experience the divine. Nirdvandvo, Nitya Sattvastho, free from all these pairs of opposites, established in your own pure buddhi, through which you can realize the Atman. Niryogakshema, Atmaman, fully self-restrained, fully self-established, you can realize this truth for yourself. That is the constant emphasis